podcast includes commentary and conversations about issues relevant to clinical psychology. It is intended to educate, entertain, and enlighten, and is not a substitute for actual mental health treatment. Individuals who share personally here choose willingly to tell their stories to benefit you, the listener. All other references to clinical situations are altered or limited to protect confidentiality. For more specific questions or help with a personal situation, please consult a local mental health professional. Therapy, mental health, real life. This is Psych Rally with Los Angeles-based clinical psychologist Dr. Martin Hsia.
All right, we're back here.
Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
Why are you laughing?
I don't know, because this is the first time I'm doing this, breaking up an episode with someone. So thanks.
This is like Breaking Good.
Breaking Good. That's right. By the way, that show totally exceeded all the hype when I actually watched it. I came back around to it.
Oh, I don't like TV.
No?
Yeah.
Not at all? Did you watch the show?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways.
I don't like most things.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's seriously true. I don't watch anything.
Well,
yeah.
For the record, that show exceeded all the hype for me. So, anyways, for what it's worth. Actually, I was going to wonder if the person you ran into at the Popeye's Chicken was a Breaking Bad character, because there's some fried chicken involved in that show. So.
Oh, really?
But apparently not.
No,
okay.
Sorry.
We're back here with Rudy Caceres. You are talking about, we're talking about your years post-Army.
Yeah. Is this part
college.
2 of the interview?
Part 2 of the interview. Here we are.
Yes, part 2.
Talk about what happened while you were on a show, or off the show, off the production, if you will.
Oh, okay.
Yes, let's go back to that.
When they stuck the tube up my urethra?
You killed the punchline, man. If you're okay talking about that, which I'm already cringing as you talk about it. But,
oh, really?
Okay, tell the story.
You've never been?
Not myself. So for now. Yes.
It's not a fun experience.
No, I'm sure. So talk about how that happened.
So they basically
what show were you on? When was this? And then what happened that led to
It's not a show where I got
production.
Yeah, it's just a prop, really.
Okay, fine.
It's just part of the musical number.
That. Well,
yeah.
I'm talking about, because weren't you in rehearsing for something, or?
Yeah, but they didn't, it wasn't on the show. It wasn't on the show
where
they did that.
I gotcha. Okay, but I'm trying to get a sense so people know what was happening.
Can you imagine?
I am imagining.
Yeah, so they kicked the door down, put me in the restraints again, took me to the emergency room, still had the leather restraints on me. Fun times. You ever been in leather restraints?
I have not. I can't say that I've had the privilege.
Yeah, good times. They stopped hurting after a while. Because I had one time where they gave me the option. There was pee in the cup, or we're gonna put the tube in you, and I was like, okay,
wait.
I'll pee in the cup.
Hold on.
This was the first time in the Army where I got hospitalized.
Oh.
Or I had the option.
Oh.
They didn't even put me in the restraints. You think in the Army like that they would do worse to you.
So you had to pee in a cup or get catheterized.
Yeah, those were my two options.
And you chose
what's in the box, the mystery box.
Not option A or option B then.
No, I don't think anyone gets that joke, but so
I know the Seven reference. I get it.
No, it's let's make a deal.
Oh, let's make a deal reference.
And then it'd be in the box, and it's like a billy goat.
Let me refocus us. Oh my gosh.
So the second time I didn't have an option. Actually, the third time. So they're in the restraints, and there's oh, we need to take a urine sample. And I was like, oh, okay. So they're gonna take the restraints off me. Good. And
hold on. So what happened that you needed? That there was a psych team that showed up. Where were you? What was going on?
Yeah, I was in my room.
My
bedroom.
Okay.
And so I wasn't responding. They called 911.
Who's they?
My roommate.
Okay. And
it was weird. You got all these stories. When you hear call 911, and an hour later you're on the freeway bleeding, and they finally come to you. This was literally a minute.
Okay.
They must have been in the neighborhood just expecting, just trying to meet their quota or something.
They're
Yeah, it's like, oh
Jeez.
god, like they got other calls for like drug wars and stuff, like mass hysteria and like terrorist attacks. But no, we gotta.
We're gonna camp out here and get Caceres.
Yeah, okay. He's not responding to phone calls,
So what happened?
so they took me out of my room. Like I wasn't even wearing shoes. I don't think. No, I was not wearing shoes because I was in bed.
Took you out, like escorted you, or on a
No,
stretcher?
just
Or?
put me on the stretcher. Put me in the restraints.
You were catatonic?
No, I had woken up. I got out of it. I
Okay.
was basically just did not want to talk to anyone. Just really, really depressed. Just basically done.
Were
Not
you-
like suicidal or anything, but just want to be not be around people at all this whole day today.
And your roommates called
911.
911. Wow.
Yeah, like just I don't know. I guess they thought I was just gonna kill myself or something, which is weird. It's just at least ask me.
Please,
Yeah.
yes.
It's like, no, God, he looks weird. Let's just call
Let's just-
911. Yeah, I know.
You threw the remote across the room.
Yeah.
This is team lost.
Yeah,
Call
I
911.
know. This is bullshit.
Jeez.
So they put me on there, and they didn't give me an option that time. I'm still in the restraints, and so that's when they break out the catheter, which is fun. It's a fun experience, and I don't think they can detect sarcasm in this.
Why? I don't understand the rationale. It's not.
I mean, because our rationale is to use a catheter, but you're usually like sedated or in
That's what
under
I would think.
anesthesia.
Not
something like that.
Not for you.
Yeah, no, I didn't have an option, and so they put that in there, and you could feel the pee coming out. Yeah, I know.
Oh.
It's god, yeah. So it's very uncomfortable, and it's like you see the person. It's like they're like looking at you like you're downstairs, and it's like, oh, this feels like such a violation.
Well, it is a violation.
Yeah.
Were you like screaming? Were you?
No, I mean I was in the restraints, so it's not like they had to hold me down or anything. But the whole time, it was like, come on, like this sucks. Like, how can you do this? How is this still legal? It's like it felt like it's like one of those things like trepanning, where it's like how, like why did we do this to people?
By the way, our mutual friend Emily gave me permission to bring up her reaction when you told her this story, which she and I had to laugh about because apparently she literally got sick and saw her dinner again after you told her about this incident.
Yeah, no, I think it was a Subway sandwich.
Yeah,
So
gosh.
shout out to Subway.
I don't know what she ate.
I don't
what she
know.
eats.
I don't know.
Anyways,
You can bring her on and ask her.
another time.
Yes. Okay. So yeah. So which I didn't get. I mean, this is like I've been over it so long. I mean, I still remember it, but it's not something that's just like permanently traumatizing for
Well,
me.
what do you hear about it? I mean, vicariously, it's emotionally and physically painful to think about.
Yeah, because I mean, there was a really good. I think it was a paramedic who was just like be there with me. I always think about how like. I've heard this from other people when you've been forcibly hospitalized, where there's always this one cool person who tries to like talk to you like a human being. I always feel like they always feel like they're guardian angels, like they don't exist outside of this situation. So it's like they are not even people. Like they don't have outside lives. They don't have problems with their kids or husband. They don't poop or anything like that.
The mastermind who sits in the back and calls the orders.
Yeah, and no,
Jeez.
she was really cool. She was very nice.
Really?
And so like after a while, it's like, can you take this out of me now? Like it's obviously I'm not a threat. It's been like 2 hours and like
Pretty
it's still,
please.
yeah, it's like it
Please?
sucks. Like it's I mean because when it's in you, it's still very uncomfortable. And she was like, okay, but you got to promise. Like this is the cool one. This is the cool one. Like she's like, you got to promise you're not going to do anything weird. It's like, yeah, no, I promise. Like, why would you think that? Because like you just perceive me as mentally ill.
Well, and what are you going to say? Actually, I can't promise that. So why don't you leave it in?
Yeah,
I don't think you're going to say that.
yeah, no.
Anyways,
yeah. So
they take it out.
Yeah, so it's like this. Yeah, she took it out, and it's like this person that's really cool, just having this great conversation, and then she's got to like look at my junk and take this thing out of me.
Well, you get to know each other a certain way once you've been through that together.
Yeah,
I suppose.
yeah. So
Were you hospitalized after that?
yeah, they took me to a psych ward after that. I was there for 7 days.
7 days.
Yeah.
Were you a danger to yourself or someone else?
No.
Right.
No.
That's not what I heard.
No, I was not resistant.
So why the need for 7 days?
Because they felt like it.
I guess
And it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't.
I guess that's a theme here, right?
And it
Just 'cause
wasn't
they
like one
felt
of those things where like I had really good private insurance, so they tried to just like take like no. I think I was on Medi-Cal or something. So
Well, I just think in terms of like, okay, if someone is considered a threat to someone else, you may have a 5150. If you're a threat to yourself, you're evaluated. But neither of which were the case for you. You weren't even suicidal to begin with that day, as you said. 7 days.
yeah,
Okay. Anyway,
7. Yeah,
I guess that's again where we're headed here too.
Yeah, even the Lord got to rest on the 7th day.
But not Rudy. He just got discharged.
Yeah, without
guess-
without shoes.
I guess that's rest.
Without shoes. With not enough. They gave me like some like bus tokens, but like the bus like I wanted to take didn't take them. No, I think it was the rail or something. So
But that's like the ultimate insult. We just held you for 7 days. You weren't even suicidal.
Yeah.
And we're going to give you bus tokens that don't even work for where you want to go.
Yeah,
That's
and
terrible.
like shoes that don't fit, but no socks.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so that's our system for you.
There we go. Okay. And something similar happened a second time.
That was the third time.
Oh,
That was
okay.
the last time though.
Ouch. And how long ago was this?
This was around March 2014.
No, not long ago.
Yeah, so there was like
That's
that
fresh.
gap. There was that gap between then because I had moved out of that place and back with my brother, and
You're like, I don't want to live with these roommates anymore, right?
yeah,
Gosh.
yeah, no, no, I don't, it was like it wasn't an upgrade to live with my brother either. I mean, he's a great guy and everything, but it's just like I wanted to live on my own, and I had felt like I had no way because I was on SSI, and like it's not enough to get your own place. So basically, from that time, from the hospitalization to around maybe like October, where I had nothing going for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't until when I started working at therapist and we started doing Active Minds and I started sharing my story online, started to get published on different blogs and websites. And
Yeah.
starting to come out on Facebook and starting to network. But it took another year from then where I finally did get my own place because I finally got my disability from the VA.
You want to talk about that real quick? The claim process?
Yes.
Because you were discharged in 2009.
Yeah, but I didn't actually apply until 2012 because in my mind, like I said, I was going to go back into the Army. I even
Right.
tried in I think 2010, and that's when they said, ha ha ha.
Someone literally said that?
No, they said,
Okay.
as I told him, like, oh, what was your medical condition? I was like, oh, schizophrenia. I was like, you kidding me? Like, no. Like I said, by then, like the military was starting to get downsized and everything.
Gotcha.
Thanks, Obama.
I guess he says you're welcome.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, so then it was like, oh man, like I have no option but to apply for disability, and it took So basically, it took over 3 years.
So you filed for veterans benefits in 2012, 2013, 2012.
2012,
And government is known for working quickly. So
or not. I mean, well, because like they had sent cause you have the assessment. They had sent it to my old address.
Perfect.
So I didn't
yes.
I didn't even get it. I didn't even see it until like 4 months later.
Gotcha.
And thankfully they didn't. Thankfully I was able to not get completely denied. Otherwise that would have restarted my process, which affects back pay. So I think even my first guy at the VA, like working with me, I think he died or something.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to work with someone else who
Okay.
was like much quicker to actually work with me. And finally I got the assessment in like October, I think, of 2015. And I just go there, and I actually was an Uber because my car had broken down several months before. And
Important detail.
Yeah, so so I was basically like nowhere. I had like 14 cents in my bank account.
Oh boy.
So he had dropped me off at the wrong place, and he had already left, and I basically had like a half hour to walk to the office. And I'm thinking like, oh God, I'm going to be late and I'm going to miss my assessment. And this is going to keep going on and on and on. And I get there, like, I'm just like disheveled, like all sweaty and everything, like clothes that don't fit 'cause I gained like 100 pounds in 1 year from just meds and stuff. And so I get there and thankfully he saw me and everything was okay. And like, I thought he was going to like try to like trick me. Like there was going to be like some like way where he's like, his whole goal was to deny me.
And just so people know, this is the evaluation for your service-connected disability benefit, correct?
Yeah,
At the
this
VA.
is it. This is make or break.
Gotcha.
And so he just asked me a bunch of questions. It was basically the same thing from the SSI assessment, which I just passed like first try. I know people who are like missing arms and legs who get rejected.
No 1.6 on that exam.
Yeah, and I'm going for the 100% disability on the VA because that's what it's going to take to actually be able to live on my own. And I left not thinking what's going to happen. And just because I'm so nervous because this is it. Because by then I was like, I got to get out of here, even if I got to be homeless or something like that to qualify for some kind of housing voucher. And then like a couple of weeks later, I just called my rep at the VA and just like, hey, what happened? And I was like, oh God, like they didn't tell you? Like, oh, like let me look. Oh, you got approved, 100%, like full dental, full everything. And like back pay.
Just deadpan like that, not like,
yeah,
hey,
he's
congratulations,
like,
thank you.
Well, I mean, like, he's like, yeah, like he said, like, oh, your back pay is like $80,400.
Where do I get some back pay, Rudy? I want some back pay.
Well, you have to have a mental breakdown in the Army.
All right, well, I'll work on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to be considered permanently and totally disabled.
So you got your back pay.
Yeah,
That must have been a nice day.
Well, no, because what happened is that I found that out, and then like I had to wait for the check to come in, like one of those huge, not the huge like Publishers Clearinghouse, but one of those big treasury checks, and like
it just comes in your mailbox.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like, oh man, like I'm like checking the mailbox and like that would suck if like someone took it or like the mailman was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take this. This is better than my job right now. So I got it, and like I had to go to the UPS store to cash it because I have USAA, so there's like the closest branches in Oceanside.
Gotcha.
So I went there.
Oceanside.
Yeah, I know. And so I had to go there and cash it at the UPS store because I have this thing where like they run it through a machine and then like it just shows up in your. Yeah, I know.
Wait, you cashed it?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, oh, you think I'm just?
Well, you said cash.
Can I have that?
Picturing you running off with like a black suitcase with like.
Can I have that? Can I have that in ones, please?
Yeah, tens and 20s. That's right.
Here you go. It's like
that would have been really satisfying, actually.
I know. Just
anyways.
make it rain on me. So yeah, I know they had problems like trying to fit it in because they're used to like regular checks, and they had to have seen it, the amount.
So that's back pay, but then you get approved for monthly
for the
disability
rest of my
check.
life.
Yeah, that's right.
That's like about $3,000. So I'm probably making more than you.
That doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So don't rob me, anyone listening to this. The $80,000 was gone in 2 months, so don't worry about it.
I can edit that out too if you like.
Yeah.
We'll
80. Oh, bleep.
$80.
Yeah, $80 now.
That's right.
So that was like night and day. I immediately told my brother I'm moving out.
Sure.
And I never came back. I gave a lot of money away, just like people that have like supported me throughout, nonprofits and stuff that I really wanted to pay back, and pay off all my loans. Not pay off my loans, my debt. All that, and like buy like new computers and everything. I basically had to furnish an entire apartment because I had nothing. So I got my apartment like on like December 15th. So it's not very easy to find an apartment in mid-December. And he said, okay, you can move in. So I basically had to go furnish the entire thing like right there and then. So I go to the furniture store and it's like, okay, I have like $4,000 to spend. Like just like, I'll take this, I'll take that, and just like bring it to my apartment right now.
You're like Pretty Woman on Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, I know. So that was fun.
And around then is also when you started speaking more. And
yeah, I mean, because I had started like working with NAMI a couple months before, but it was hard because I just felt like, oh, like you guys like are not giving me enough opportunities. I'm just like this great speaker, I have this theater background, and thankfully I was able to buy a car through that, and so I was able to drive around a lot more and go basically anywhere in LA County, from the South Bay to like Antelope Valley, and everywhere in between, east and west. So
to speak for NAMI, you mean?
Yeah. So I've done about 100 presentations since then. So from like September 21st was my first presentation.
Typically, for when you're doing those, are you talking personally like we are here today, or are you talking about more general themes? Yeah,
I mean, it's like you usually share it with someone else with lived experience of mental illness. You hear all kinds of fun stories. So I keep saying fun. Like none of this is fun. They don't get the sarcasm. But yeah, so it's usually two people, and like you go back and forth. It's like tag team and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You go to colleges, hospitals, doctors, students, and like high schools. And I actually did talk to. I went to a hospital, and they had the security team there who put people in restraints. That's their job. And it was like, well, if you had to put the restraints on yourself, you would not do it because like you don't understand. And that's when I found out part of the training is that they have to be put in the restraints.
Wow. So what was it like to share your story of being in restraints there?
Yeah, no, because I didn't know that. It was just like a handful of
I
people.
see.
Like there was nurses, there were doctors. Because usually it's like a very specific audience, and it's basically whoever felt like coming. So, and that's what I found out, and that's when I felt like their perspective is like they're not this evil people. Like I had said before, we're just like walk around with the straps, just like trying to find people
Looking
to
to
put
get
them on.
someone, yeah.
You just say one word wrong, and it's like, come here.
Well, they're part of a system that tells them that's what they have to do.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean that they're evil people themselves, perhaps. So, yeah.
yeah, it's like those movies where they have a conscience and like just like no, like I'm not going to stand up for this.
Let's talk about Scaft then. Yeah.
Yeah, damn.
Unless there's something else we want to
No,
film.
I don't want to brag about my money because it's all gone anyway. I don't want to talk about like just like spending $80,000 in 2 months.
Okay. Then we don't have to do that.
Because people thought I was manic, and that was the thing. I had never been more depressed in my entire life.
Right.
Because it's like people say, money can't buy happiness.
I've heard that.
And you think like, no, like money can't, you don't know, like you wouldn't know the things I would do. And yeah, actually, I'd probably buy a private therapist.
You can do that, I suppose.
Just fly in from Fiji.
To see your therapist here? Or
Yeah.
to see a therapist in Fiji?
Just whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Just bring in one. But yeah, let's talk about forced treatment again.
Southern California against forced treatment, Scaft. How and when did that come about?
Yeah, so Emily is definitely the founder. I just came along a few months later.
Once again, Emily Shearcutler, who I spoke with, I think it was episode 18 or something here on Psych Rally, who introduced Rudy and I. So
Yes.
she started it. You came along.
Yeah,
And-
so because I had spoken out about my own experience about how restraints are just should not be allowed, just especially when people like me who are just totally not combative. But it's just I'm mostly around people who believe in forced treatment. They don't want to use that word, but that's what they believe in. So it was really hard for me to speak out because I didn't want to lose friends. I didn't want to rock the boat too much because I'm trying to just like please everyone. And
Sorry, when you say people didn't believe in that, meaning other mental health advocates? Or what?
didn't believe in that it was forced treatment. That it was like, people, it does happen and it's sad, but it's an exception to the rule. So just take one for the team, okay?
I see.
Yeah, it sucked for you, but the general utilitarian thing is that we gotta put people in restraints. We gotta do this and that
Interesting.
and all that
I
stuff.
see.
So if
Some people weren't on the same page.
yeah, sucks to be you.
You had some overlap, but then that was an area that you were not eye to eye on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it just got to the point where, wait, there are other people who believe what I do. Because because I met a few of these people but it was mostly people who didn't believe in mental illness or thought meds were bad and that it was just like, it was just like basically Stockholm syndrome, that you were basically buying into this concept that you're mentally ill and it's like, what's that word for when you're self-oppression or internalized oppression?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what it was like, and that you need to be liberated. And I was like, no, like I have bipolar. What's the problem? It's
What's
like,
the big deal?
It sucks, but like it's not the end of the world. So when I met Emily, like she was like basically the only person from that general community, because there's all kinds of different sub-factions, but that actually like welcomed me, especially when I started speaking out about forced treatment and this whole concept that once you're labeled quote unquote severely mentally ill, that's just like you can just take someone's rights. You can just use that just to do whatever you want to them. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, here's someone I can work with. Reach across the aisle. We don't have to agree on everything. And it was good. She welcomed me into the community, into Southern California against forced treatment. And I wanted to, because I'm so used to doing online thing. You've seen me so active on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And
Facebook, Twitter, you got video vlogs coming out.
Yes.
Some blogs here and there. It's cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Follow me on Snapchat.
On the mighty. Yeah. All right.
No, actually do follow me on Snapchat at Rudy Caceres, but
Cool.
I barely ever post there. Well, okay, let's get back to serious stuff. So I never really done like much like boots on the ground advocacy work, and besides just telling my own story a million times, just going around in circles with that. So here with Emily, like I'm talking to politicians and just going, starting a community, just going to protests and stuff like that. So that was a new experience. Like I felt like I was this rebel, just totally like trying to like subvert the system. And it just felt so good to just be able to do something that I was passionate about. That wasn't just like, oh, we got to end the stigma and all blah, blah, blah. So that's good. And I, no matter what, like I always want to be against forced treatment. I don't want it to put this pretty wrapper on it and say like, oh, is this for your own good? And just don't worry about it. It's just like, we'll make the hospitals look nicer. We'll give you Xbox or Netflix or something like that. What are you complaining about? So no, and there are places around, like even around Southern California, that are humane, that are not complete confinement. And what I've learned is from these stories is that, I mean, because there are people who actually, like I talked to someone the other day where it's like, I love being in the psych ward. And it's like I like this schedule and like this routine and everything. And it's like, oh, shut up. Like you're making, like I don't want, like you're making it like worse for everyone.
I attended a training and the therapist talked about how there was a client who liked to go to the hospital because they served fish dinner there.
Yeah,
and he got seafood at the hospital.
No, like I know people where they like being in prison,
being taken care of or something.
Yeah, they like being in prison or like being in the army. You know, people like that, or just want that set schedule, want that discipline.
Not for you.
Yeah, no, no. So there are places where there's no confinement, and because it's that feeling of confinement, feeling like you're dangerous, that makes you want to be combative. And so
self-fulfilling in that sense.
So it's like this catch-22 where you don't want to be in there, so like you try to rebel against that, and so you're perceived as non-compliant, as rebel, and everything that we can't trust you. So you put the locked doors, you have the restraints, you have all this force stuff, and so it's just like a vicious cycle. So there are places where that are actually humane, because it's like one of those things, like being against forced treatment. It's like this real radical idea, and it's like, why is that? Like it's just like a human rights thing.
Need to be,
yeah,
sure.
So it's just, I want to be able to show people it doesn't have to be this way, because I go speak in a psych ward every single month. I go there, these people look completely zombified. There are some good people like recreational therapists who really try to treat people.
When you say zombified, you're not just talking about residents and patients there.
Oh, like not like I thought you were gonna make a Resident Evil joke.
No, I'm not everything is about it. Some movie reference. I have young kids already. I haven't been in the movies in like 6 years.
Okay.
When you said zombified, I got the sense you're also talking about staff members.
No. I mean, I feel like some of them are just jaded, where it just feels like a job. They're not really trying to help people.
Punching the clock.
Yeah. So, which is always great for people's like mental health and everything.
Well, and the mental health of the staff impacts the mental health of the more vulnerable people there, who are the patients.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so it's just this very traumatizing thing, and just the people I work with, people in the anti-forced treatment movement, it did not help, obviously.
Right.
It traumatized them for life.
Sure.
So I see these things, and it's like there's got to be a better way. So that's what I try to champion. Like, of course, people need help. Mm-hmm. What that help looks like is different. It's something way different from what you see in a psych ward and forced treatment.
Right. So it sounds like for you, like you blend. Some people are mental health advocates or stigma busters.
Yeah.
But not necessarily so much about the human rights, civil rights piece of the forced treatment. But for you or for Emily Scaft, it's more about that, but it's kind of an offshoot of having been in the mental health care system.
Yeah, because we don't consider ourselves really mental health advocates. I mean, it's okay for people to do that, especially when they just want to share their story and like spread awareness and everything, and just start out. Because a lot of people, when they start out, it's just like, oh, we got to end the stigma and everything. So,
which is a real thing too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, it depends on your interpretation of that. So, I remember someone from NAMI saying it's like a swimming pool. You have the shallow end and the deep end, And it's about what you're comfortable. If you're comfortable with just staying in the shallow end, that's fine. If you just wanna like share your story and like wear the lime green ribbon and stuff, like that's go for it. If you want to come to the shallow end, where it's more about policy and changing the world and actually doing activism, boots to the ground, that's okay too. I mean, that's where I want to be. That's where I hope everyone should be because we got a lot of work to do. So I'm okay with people calling themselves mental health advocates and ending the stigma on whatever, because I just hope that.
But it's a different emphasis.
Yeah, because then they eventually get to know us and we brainwash them.
You sure you want me to keep that on this publicly? Rudy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we're talking about zombies, aren't we?
All right. Hopefully, no mental health advocates.
No, we will convert you. Okay.
Yowzers.
We will find you.
Psych meds. Let me ask you about that because more and more I'm aware of concerns around psych meds and the anti-psychiatry movement and the history of psychiatry, even though I work with a lot of people who take medication and I have colleagues who prescribe medication. What's your take?
Well, I take my meds like a good little patient. So I was actually saw my psychiatrist yesterday, and he was like, like really, like these meds just really just make you tired and just like really make you slow. Like you actually have to do things on your own. It's like there's no magic pill. It's like, oh, don't tell me that. Like I wish there was a magic pill. I wish can't you just up the dosage or just give me something else that'll just totally treat me, like where I don't have to actually do stuff.
And yet he's trying to empower you too.
Yeah,
I hope.
I know. It's like Rudy, you got to like get outdoors and stuff. It's like no, come on, that's too hard.
Just
like,
give me the good pill that you haven't given me yet.
Yeah, I know. Like I don't want to be around people. So,
but in general, in terms of from an advocacy standpoint, from a forced treatment standpoint, meds are controversial.
Well, yeah, I mean that's why I liked Emily, because like she was like, no, just like we're not judging you for taking meds, like we're not anti-meds. So
yeah.
And there's people in the community that are, and that's cool. You have people from all walks of life, but as long as we have that common mission of being against forced treatment, go for it. I mean, we're not going to try to convert anyone to be for meds or against meds or whatever. So
that's not the point.
I'm about people being their best advocate. So if you want to take meds, if you think they work for you, fine, but just educate yourself as much as you can, because often what happens, especially when you have a doctor who's not staying updated on the latest news, is that you just end up taking whatever they give you and you just deal with the side effects.
Right.
So you end up gaining 100 pounds before you know it, and
which will probably result in being prescribed another medication.
Yeah, well,
to
you know,
deal with the side effects.
Yeah, so they give you an antidepressant that is supposed to help with depression, but it gains 100 pounds. So then you get depressed because you're like fat and everyone's making fun of you. So it's like
can't win.
Yeah, I know.
Jeez.
But it's like one of those things where it's like you gotta, and this is what I do. It's like, no, like doctor, like you can't give me anything where it makes me gain a pound. I don't care what it does. So it's gotten to that point where it's like, don't take shit from your doctor, okay? Because he or she is just gonna like follow the pattern. It's like, oh, this works for most of my patients. Yeah, there's some side effects, but whatever. So that's what I'm about.
Cool.
If your doctor is saying like, oh, like don't worry about it, and it's like, no, like this is real.
Yeah.
I don't like this side effect. It's not okay. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Like even if it's like the day, like I've had ones where I take it for a day or two and it just completely knocks me out, and I go back to my doctor, just walk in there. It's like, nope. Give me something else. Yeah. Give me something else. I'm not leaving your office until you give me something else.
Forced prescription.
Yeah, I know. Well, some people are like that. So, maybe I'll give it a try. So, no.
Let's talk about guns.
Yeah.
Also controversial in the everywhere you go is controversial. But what's your take on guns? From as someone who's been through mental health treatment and who's been through forced treatment, and as an issue that's being debated in halls bigger than you and I have ever set foot in, probably.
Yes, we're not talking about the cough drops.
No.
So, my first experience with a gun.
Nice one, by the way.
Yeah, I know. See, you weren't expecting this.
I was even a step behind there, but so go ahead. It's like, there's a joke in there. Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Delayed gratification.
Okay. Are we talking about guns or are we talking about Tums?
The former, please.
Very controversial.
Yes.
So So guns. My first experience with a gun was it was right before I went into the army, and I had a friend who was like very into guns. Like he had like a whole arsenal. And he's like, "Well, you got to get used to it. Like you have to shoot a gun before you go into the army, so you have like some kind of experience." Even though when I got into the army, it's like we prefer people who actually have no experience, because
Right.
then we got to reprogram you.
Train you, yeah.
Yeah. So and it was a pistol. It was like a 9mm.
Okay.
I don't know guns.
No less than I do.
Yeah, so I get the gun. I'm so scared, and like, 'cause there's all these people, like they're all shooting. It's very loud, and I'm just like all shaking and everything, and I'm just like looking
This is
at
on
it.
a range?
Yeah, it's one of
Okay.
those indoor ranges
Yeah.
though. So I shoot it. I shoot the pistol, and what happens with me is that the brass flies in my face,
Yeah.
and I thought I shot myself because I'm left-handed, so it hit me on the right side of the face.
Yeah.
I thought I shot myself, and then I was so scared, like I almost like threw the gun down, which probably would have
That
got.
might have been good
I
either.
probably would have got kicked out.
Or you might have actually shot yourself then,
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah, I would have been like the kid from Christmas Story and shot my eye out.
That's right. Well, that's going way back there, Rudy, man. I don't know if we can handle that.
Yeah,
So that was first experience with guns.
Yeah,
Not,
and
not
then-
positive, scary. Then you go to the army.
yeah. It's actually those guns are pretty easy. Well, I mean, we can't call them guns. We call them weapons or rifles. The M16A2. And so yeah, they're pretty easy. It has like a little bounce back, but nothing serious. Once you get used to it, it's fine. So
You learn how to handle a weapon.
I'm still a horrible shot.
Okay.
Like I can hit like the actual like target. I mean, I can't hit the bullseye to save my life.
Some part of the target
Yeah, like the general like area.
with a rifle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, like, but even then, like, I mean, there's people in there who just love guns, like who love having access to guns. Like, I was like my battle buddy, quote unquote. He was so good, like he almost got a perfect score on the shooting test that they actually let him shoot the rocket launcher,
Wow.
and he actually hit the target, like bullseye. That's how good he was.
Do they take practice for like RPG folks?
The role playing
I don't
game,
know
like
how that
Final
works.
Fantasy.
No, the rocket propelled grenades or
Yeah.
shooting the rocket. I don't know.
Yeah, that's like our VR training. It's just
I
like
gotcha.
Final Fantasy. Just
So you have experience with guns. What's your view on guns at this point?
Yeah, I mean, because when I got out, like I had no passion at all for guns. To ever own a gun, I'm the last person to own a gun. Like I wish we lived in a world without any guns. Period. But there's a lot of things that I wish didn't exist in the world, and so that's not going to happen anytime soon.
Well, what do you say about the Second Amendment rights folks?
I think that's just so ingrained in our society where it's not gonna. Like I said, I wish there was no guns. Period. I wish there was no killing. Period.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. So, but I know plenty of people who love their guns who would never harm a person ever. So, what am I gonna say to them? I'm just like, nope, I'm taking away your fun.
Yep. Okay.
So, yeah,
So that's one side of it.
yeah. So that's just one of those things where
Yeah.
it's just like it's not gonna happen. Taking guns away.
Then there's the other side. Murphy Bill, people with quote unquote mental illness should not be allowed to have guns. And is the policy until, I guess just a few days ago, President Trump repealed a piece of legislation which removes that restriction, yeah?
Yes.
So this is really interesting. Because to me, the more I think about it, the more I read and the more I learn and talk with people like you, I can see how complex the issue is. Yeah? Because, so for instance, the other day, 3 days ago, Donald Trump repeals that part of the Murphy Law, right? Which,
I think he did that with like eating pizza or something.
whatever he eats. So basically that means that there's less restrictions on who can have a firearm, correct?
Correct.
But so many people that I see eye to eye on with, or on a lot of issues with, and who I respect, very much would say, "Oh, that's a dangerous thing to do," right? Because people who are unstable or prone to violence or have a mental health diagnosis or whatever, they should be kept further from firearms. That argument is so strong. That thinking is so. I saw a tweet from George Takei, Captain Sulu, right? He's a real big name in the LGBT community, big name in the Asian American community, big name in the Trekkie community, very outspoken critic of President Trump. And he said, "Great job, President." I wrote the tweet down. He says, "You're not making communities safer for everyone by doing the NRA's bidding and making it easier for mentally ill folks to buy guns." this is George Takei talking on Twitter. And I was like, I had to read that a couple times. Like, I don't know. I like George Takei.
No, I know all kinds of people I respect who
Yeah.
to say words like, "Oh, you're like a crazy person is giving gun rights to crazy people," stuff like that. People I really respect who like really champion other people's human rights. That's one of the things that Emily and I agree on is that all these progressives, there's like, oh, we got to fight for LGBTQ and minorities and everything, but for some reason the mentally ill, it's like, no, we got to take away your rights.
Double standard there.
Yeah.
Right. So for you or for anyone on the forced treatment side, right, it's sort of this, the thinking on the other end is like, that's profiling to say that because I have a diagnosis, I can't have a gun.
Yeah, because it's not about guns per se, because anyone is dangerous with a gun.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I would never own a gun. I know. I talked to someone yesterday who saw that post where I was quoted in the Mighty, who said like I've gone on record where she said this, where I am too scared of owning a gun because I feared that I would be dangerous and I'd end up shooting someone, and so that's why she was against that.
So she was quoting your own words to kind of go against what you're fighting.
Yeah,
for.
and I was like, well, should I own a gun? And that's the thing, is that you could be against it. You could be against most people owning guns. But the fact that you're taking away my rights, you have a say in my rights, or in just like, it could be like 0.1%. But this is America. Like everyone is entitled to certain rights. And when you take them away from anyone, that's not America anymore.
You've just changed the playing field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, because it's too easy to call someone severely mentally ill. Like with me, because I have the 100% disability, and so it's very easy to call me severely mentally ill. And although I would never own a gun, it's not because like I'm just gonna have this psychotic breakdown and just like go mow down a movie theater or something. So it's very complicated because I know people, like I knew this woman who's like now a city council person, who she had postpartum psychosis, and part of that was where she came really, really close to suffocating her newborn, and that was because of her psychosis.
Yeah, that
wasn't just because she was an asshole or anything. So that's just like, what do I say to that? Like, she was violent because of her condition.
Right. So it's not a black and white issue.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can't use that as a rationale to take away everyone's rights.
Sure.
So it's like the army, where one person ruins it for everyone else. Just takes one person to shoot up an elementary school, and it's like, no, like none of you all, he screwed it for the rest of you. Okay, we tried to give you rights. Okay, and this is the thanks we get.
Right. Well, I can see how much of an uphill battle it would feel like when, as you said, so many other people who are progressive and compassionate and fighting for other people's rights, your rights in other ways, aren't backing you up on this one.
Yeah, and I hear people who are also progressive in other ways who say like, I am trying to make it harder for their child to get help, or if the blood is on my hands if they commit a murder or end up like killing them, like the parent.
Yeah.
Like that's blood on my hands. I'm trying to keep them from getting help. So it is one of those things where I was scared of that happening. I've had people cut ties with me, and that's just the way it is. Yeah. So.
Wow. Oh, maybe I'll ask you one more question, and then I thought we'd throw in something fun for you to do.
The answer is 257.
The answer is, what is 257? If you're in Jeopardy, you got to ask it in the form of a question. Anyways.
Yeah.
All the things that you're involved with in terms of telling your story and speaking publicly about your story, which is very bold, and I respect and appreciate. How does that help you?
You know, one of the things is that people keep saying that, oh, you're so inspirational and everything. And it's like, that's like really, they make it so easy to become like a real voice in the mental health community. All you have to tell people is like, oh, I have bipolar and this sucks. And it's like, oh my God, like you're breaking the stigma. Like you inspired me to share my own story. And it's like, no, I'm just telling the truth. And like, no, a lot of people want to tell. like even like all the nitty gritty details, like the mania and stuff, where it's like some of that stuff is really embarrassing, or depression, where it's like I go a week without showering or brushing my teeth. Like that happens to people when they're manic or depressive, but not enough people talk about it. So when you do, it's like you're like this like champion of mental health awareness.
Well, you are. No?
Well, thank God I didn't brush my teeth for a week.
You could have not this week.
I know. I was thinking like, oh my God, like I should not brush my teeth for a week because this will make awesome like Facebook content. That's what I think. Like whenever I'm really depressed or manic, I'm thinking like, oh man, this is gonna make a great Facebook post. It's gonna have like 100 comments and.
Oh, I thought you meant somehow that the smell of not having brushed your teeth would somehow be able to be transmitted through Facebook, but just something you'd write about, in other words.
Yeah, they're working on that feature.
Yeah, I was
Get on it, Zuckerberg.
Mark, if you're listening.
Yeah, I think he's too busy playing with his dog right now.
Probably.
We didn't even get to Priscilla Chan, so well, that's a different story.
Installment number 3, yeah? So, but that was my question is, yeah, how does it help you to tell your story? Or does it?
With Facebook?
In general, in all the speaking that you do and...
Yeah, because the thing is, and I've been telling people this, whereas I'm speaking, it's like I'm going around in circles now. I'm telling basically the same story, pretty much what I've told you. So the thing about social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, I mean, I've tried it all. Like I even have a Pinterest, but don't go on that. That's kind of weird. Like or even my website, which I used to blog at.
Which is still up.
Yeah, I want to have a WordPress site too.
Yeah.
I use WordPress more for making friends than actually writing. So, like, if you have a WordPress blog that's in mental health, like, I will follow you. I just won't read your work.
That's fine.
But I will tell you I do.
It helps you somehow.
Yeah, because I want to interact with as many people in the mental health world because we're part of this community, and I want to help bring people together too. Because a lot of people. I mean, they're very good speakers. They're very good advocates, but they don't. Like, I don't want to say they're bad at Facebook. That's like, who cares?
There's no
like I used to say, like I could never date a woman who was bad at Facebook.
I guess it's too late for that.
Yeah, who just posts like Minions memes and stuff like that. Just has no clue how to like use the right filter for an Instagram post.
Pictures of what they ate for dinner or something.
Yeah, who gives a fuck, really? So, but now it's. I mean, I feel like because there are things I talk about like forced treatment and mental illness and bipolar and all this stuff. That's the content. But the fact is that my main outlet is social media. Because I look up to these people. They're basically traveling the world, going from city to city, making like huge money. That would be cool, but I love this community that I've created on social media, specifically Facebook, because there's so many different ways to express yourself on Facebook, whether it be video or pictures or text. And I love that. I love reading people's comments. I love the dialogue. I love people interacting with each other. I love making new friends out of it. And I mean, I love meeting them in person too, because that's the thing is that I make these friends online. I make a girlfriend online, and then
you met me in person before you met your own girlfriend.
Yeah, we've never dated before, you and I.
Not yet.
Yeah, we're dating ourselves.
That's right. We already have dated ourselves, which just sounds so weird.
I'm taken by myself.
It's complicated.
Yeah. So it's open.
Zuckerberg.
It's an open relationship with me and my girlfriend, and me
and myself.
Yeah, in a non like DID way.
I'm totally derailed now. What were we talking about?
We're talking about
how social media helps you.
Social media.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no, we're talking about relationships, but it's good. So if you're in the mental health world, I will find you.
Okay, Liam Neeson.
And we will be friends.
That's right.
Okay? You have no choice. No, but I love that. I love creating this community because there's a couple other people that I really look up to that do this. Because some people like they're very private. Just like don't even accept friend requests, and that's okay. No one owes me anything to like be friends with me. But I love this community. It's just gotten to the point where like I have it down to a science. I actually watch webinars just on like Facebook marketing. Like I know that's so nerdy and stuff.
No, not at all.
I can do a whole podcast just nerding out on like Facebook engagement and metrics.
When you restart up your podcast, maybe that's where you start.
There's actually people like that. I do listen to a podcast like that. But I just love interacting, and one of the ways that is because some people it's like, well, why do you put too much emphasis on likes and comments and followers and stuff? It's like, no, because this is my community.
Yeah.
This is like my town square. So it's some people like they have their speaking, they go off and they make big money, or they make the documentaries, or they have like they vlog like YouTube videos and stuff. And I do some videos, but it's just always meant to funnel back to the Facebook page, even Instagram and Twitter. And some people say like, oh, Rudy, you should create a business page. And it's no, because it's personal. Like, to say that you're friends with me, and I was like, oh, like this is some great honor. But I think more people are willing to interact with someone that they are quote unquote friends with, as opposed to just liking a page. Because you like with the Facebook algorithm, you never know who's going to see it.
Let's. I'm gonna give you some sentence completion here, Rudy. Okay. We'll have some fun with it.
Can you just give me movies and I try to guess their sequel name?
I suppose we could.
No.
Independence Day.
Yeah. Resurrection? Retribution?
I got nothing else. Forrest Gump.
There actually is a book sequel.
Is there?
Yeah.
What was it called?
Forrest Gumper?
Forrest Gump here.
The Gumpening?
Gump and Gumper.
Yeah.
Okay. Say a word or a sentence. You fill in the rest. All right?
Okay.
Mental health.
Fake. No. Okay. No, I don't want to. Okay. This is like Hollywood Squares where I just give you joke answers. I'm like Bruce Valanche.
Mental health.
Misunderstood.
If bipolar was a person I could talk to, I would say...
God, you got to edit out the silence.
I can do that. That's more real, though.
Yeah. No, I use these apps where they just like cut the silence out anyway for you. A bipolar was a person, what would I tell you? Would I tell them?
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell you that you're fake.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. That's what I would say. You're real, and you are enough.
Well, that's said so sensitively.
Yes.
I was expecting more like a F you or something like that.
No,
But,
I would say bipolar. I hardly know her.
All right. Depression, to me, feels like...
Depression to me feels like it's basically where just like my soul has been sucked out.
Yeah.
Have you ever been depressed?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're mentally ill then?
I guess I am.
Yeah, you're mentally ill.
I guess I am.
Let's get
Well,
the
I'm in good
restraints.
camp.
Get
I
the
can't.
restraints on you.
I know.
Okay, I brought the catheter in my bag.
Well, I'll skip that part. Give me a choice. Give me the cup. Give me the cup. You can keep my guns. I don't want a gun.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
Thanks
You
for
just smile.
Thanks for the guns.
Thanks for all that. In my ideal world as an advocate, blank.
I would have more Facebook friends.
Yeah.
No.
You have a lot of Facebook friends.
Yeah, I know. No. I guess I could turn that into money. Like how do I turn Facebook friends into money?
Well, that contradicts what you just said a couple minutes ago. But anyway.
Yes.
Anyways.
Pay my rent, Facebook friends.
Okay.
You think if I did that, like enough people would be able to do it? I just threw that out there. Just pay my rent and just see.
You got a promo to offer them here?
Yeah,
So
I'll give
like
yeah.
like Rudy Caceres on Facebook, then you get
I'll give you
a T-shirt. Where your label
No, I can't even get one.
You can't even get one.
No, I'll give you a wristband.
Well, any other things you want to just share? People are listening. We've talked a lot between 2 episodes here of guns, meds, your personal story, what you're doing now.
Urethras.
That's the final word here.
And I'm sticking to it. No. I mean, obviously, follow me on social media.
That's right. Facebook.
Be
Twitter.
my friend on Facebook. Search for me. But in case you can't find me, because apparently there are multiple Rudy Cacereses, like in South America. Like that should be like gimmick infringement. But Facebook.com, Rudy, RUDY, period, Caceres, CASERES, because apparently people still have a problem misspelling that.
I'll link to those on show notes for this episode.
Yes,
Yep.
at Rudy Caceres on Twitter, at Rudy Caceres on Instagram.
Got it.
And at Rudy Caceres on CompuServe.
Seriously?
No.
Prodigy?
No. That's a inside joke that only one person will appreciate.
Well, I knew it was a joke. I just didn't get the joke, but I figured something doesn't sound right there.
Yes.
And just so people know, what other projects you're involved? Southern California Against Forced Treatment.
Yes.
You talked about Where Your Label last time.
Healthy Place.
Healthy Place.
Like Healthy Place's page on Instagram and Facebook. You'll see my videos.
Gotcha.
I have outtakes too on my Instagram, so look out for those.
Awesome. We should do outtakes from our conversations.
That's the third episode.
This whole thing's going to be whittled down to like 10 minutes if I did
Oh God. Yeah, 10 minutes every day for like the rest of the year.
That's right.
But yes, and I had a story recently published in The Mighty, which is actually about Facebook. Go figure.
Cool. Right.
I should have another one coming up soon. And I because I can't do a blog on my own, so I just try to guest blog for other websites, and it just happens. Just very
Why not
random.
Start a blog of your own, man.
No, God.
Okay, fine.
I don't even read.
And you recently told a story publicly, or you did something publicly.
This Is My Brave?
So This Is My Brave. Tell us real quickly what This Is My Brave is about. I know it's not out yet, but when it's out, I'll link to it.
Peek behind the curtain. He actually does know the name of the show, but
okay,
he just wants to make it appear like he's asking me for the first time. This Is My Brave.
All right.
It was the show live performance was last January live, and it was cool because it wasn't telling the same story I've told a million times. It was actually a theatrical monologue, which is something I haven't done since my mental breakdown.
So it was a little more produced and rehearsed.
Yeah, and it was professionally recorded too, so
Yeah.
they make me look like $1 million. So that should be coming out soon.
Cool.
Whenever they get to it, which I hope soon. It's like, because I'm really hoping to, because like everyone's always asking me, oh, like Rudy, I want to hear you speak and everything. Cause it's like hard for me. It's like if I'm speaking on a psych ward, it's not easy to record that. You don't want to see that.
HIPAA violation too.
Yes.
Yes, among other violations that happen on the psych ward apparently.
Yes. Yeah. So, Murphy, he loves those hippos.
Yeah,
hungry hippos.
Hungry hippos. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Remember, it makes me think of Fantasia. Remember the hippos dancing, the ballet? Anyways.
Yeah. Okay. More or less.
So that's
that was
gonna come
a
out
real psychotic delusion.
It really was. It was something.
Mickey Mouse is mentally ill.
Shrooms or something.
Yeah. Isn't that the movie with the brooms?
Yes.
Yeah, so shrooms
Wait,
and brooms.
was that Fantasia? Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Shrooms, brooms, The Apprentice, Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah, but no Donald Trump.
No.
Not that kind of apprentice.
Rudy, you're fired.
There was no Omarosa in that.
No Kellyanne Conway.
Was she on The Apprentice?
I don't know.
Okay, that would be so funny. It was just like his whole cabinet was just made up of apprentice, like not even the ones who won.
Maybe after he's done with the White House, he'll have to resurrect the.
He'll just
Apprentice
fire everyone the last day.
Yeah, with like Rex Tillerson and Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, So I don't want. Yeah, I actually want to think about the last day, but not right now. That's all.
We gotta hang on.
But yeah.
This Is My Brave coming out soon. I will link to it here. Yeah.
Yes. Cool. Yes.
And any other final words that do or do not start with you?
Here's some word of advice, some motivation to help empower yourself. This is a quote I've always loved. If the pen is mightier than the sword, then meet me outside with your pen.
I got to think about that for a second. Okay. I guess I should be inspired.
Yes.
Or scared.
No.
Or laughing?
No, because pen, it's like it's about using your mind, your creativity.
Oh, gotcha. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm too
the pen is mightier than the sword.
Right. Because I might have a sword, but you got a pen, and the pen is mightier.
Yeah, it's like Indiana Jones, where you have that guy with the sword, like doing all the things. And
That's
like,
right.
I just like throw a pen into your neck.
And then Sean Connery on Celebrity Jeopardy.
Yeah. Was that the Temple of Doom, the third one?
Well, it's on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
when
it's the third temple.
The pen is mightier than the sword. Except
is the third Indiana Jones the Temple of Doom?
And the third one is the Last Crusade.
Okay,
yes,
so if we do a third episode, that's what we'll call it.
All right. The pen is mightier than the sword.
Yeah.
The pen.
Yes. Psych Rally 3, The Last Crusade.
Wow, gosh.
There's going to be more sequels than Police Academy.
Rudy Caceres, thanks for your time talking with me, and appreciate all the work that you're doing. And what else should we say to wind things down here?
I'm not bad. I'm not good with endings, so
You're not good with endings.
I don't know. Just
Well, I appreciate you talking with me, and I hope other people benefit from your story, and I'm glad you're still out there fighting and speaking.
and boom goes the dynamite.
All right. Pleasure. Pop goes the weasel. As always, it's such a gift to be able to sit across from someone who has suffered and clearly had to deal with a lot of difficult things in life, but is also just kind of honestly putting it all out there for you, you know? And as for therapists, you know, that's one thing that we're always very blessed and fortunate to be in that seat across from direct honesty and vulnerability every day. And we're in a position to help people in a different kind of way, but it's a little bit different for something like this, a podcast, where, you know, anyone all over the world can really hear a raw and personal story like Rudy's. So definitely something I commend and don't take for granted, and want to thank him for. One thing that I really hear, and I hope others can as well, is how, as Rudy said, you know, he's just a guy, normal guy. He hasn't always had everything he's needed. He's had dreams and ambitions dashed, but he's gotten back up time and time again. And here he is trying to do something productive with his suffering. And I think that's something each of us in our own ways can relate to and hopefully take some inspiration from. You hear these labels, bipolar and catatonic schizophrenia and major depression, all of which have been applied to Rudy at some point, and in most contexts, these are pretty heavy labels. But again, just a regular guy, Rudy, a person not all that unlike me or you, just trying to do his best, and in fact, probably a lot funnier and more resilient than a lot of us. And I think that's to be respected. I think for lots of people, you know, when you see all the horrible tragedies that have happened in just in this country in recent years, Columbine, Sandy Hook, Virginia Tech, the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, this is just to name a few, unfortunately. It can seem pretty intuitive to want to screen more closely who can access firearms, and try to limit access to people that are not impulsive or considered reliable and safe, or maybe just decrease the amount of guns out there to begin with. But I think especially knowing that there's a lot of powerful money and lobbying and politics around firearms, it's not unnatural to just get outraged that there isn't meaningful change at a policy level to stop the violence. And I definitely resonate with that. And yet, at the same time, I hear a perspective of someone like Rudy, and, it really helps me see that, again, just like on so many issues, it's too easy to paint with a really broad brush, with too broad of a brush. And that determining someone's level of threat to society can't just be boiled down to having a diagnosis code or not. There are way more shades of gray that we all need to be able to see all across the spectrum. And that goes for firearms and mental health, but so many issues that we are seeing at a societal level. So, you heard a lot of painful things here: forced treatment, confinement, depression. But for Rudy at his best, with that sense of humor, he sure doesn't take himself too seriously, and I mean that in a really good way. So I think there's a valuable takeaway for us there as well. You can bounce back and be stronger from incredible pain and hardship. Thanks again so much for listening in with us. I will link on the show notes to multiple ways to connect with Rudy, and please shoot me your thoughts and responses by email, martin@psychrallypodcast.com, or on the show notes on psychrallypodcast.com here for episode 25. Coming up on the next few episodes, we'll be talking about trichotillomania, sex addiction, marijuana, dreams, all sorts of great stuff coming up. I can't wait. Love to have you join us next time here in the Rally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is this
in
part
college.
2 of the interview?
Part 2 of the interview. Here we are.
Yes, part 2, the search for Curly's gold.
Oh my gosh. Curly actually? Oh no, Curly dies at the end of the first one. That's
City
right.
Slickers?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we got to find his gold.
That's right. We got to find his gold. So We're searching for Rudy's gold
Yes.
here.
Part 2, Electric Boogaloo.
All right, you're on your own there. Talk about, so you were involved with some drama productions in college.
Yes.
Yes.
Fun times. I actually did some musicals, but I can't sing like you.
Once again, you're supposed to keep that to yourself, and I've never sang in a musical before. I sang in a choir, okay?
So, all right.
So I don't have that kind of cojones. I don't mind blending in with everyone else.
Okay.
Anyways, you sang karaoke on the inpatient unit, so you let the cat out of the bag there. Don't put it on me.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yes, I'm actually a bass, so.
We should sing together sometime. You're a bass, I'm a tenor.
Okay. We should do that Time of Your Life song from Dirty Dancing.
That will be the third installation of Rudy and Martin talking, so we'll tape that another time.
Yes. Part 3 with a vengeance.
With event, boy, man, you're just knocking out the sequel references here, aren't you? Jeez.
The Secret of the Ooze.
I'm not. I should just let you. I should just leave the room and let you
Yes.
knock him out.
2 Psych, 2 Rally.
Nicely done. Wow, boy, he even worked in the name here.
Yes.
Um,
Psych Rally 2, Cruise Control.
Wow, seriously? Do you just like have these ready to go?
Yeah.
That's like going back too.
Yeah.
That's going way back.
Oh, yeah.
All the way back to Speed.